I almost quit making this scene because of lights in Godot. My name is Max from Maidenlist, and I'm working on a game called Corporate Hell. For context, this is one of many random events that can take place on any given workday in my game. But that's not what we're here to talk about. We're here to talk about how this works and why I almost gave up on it. First, we have to understand how lights work in a 2D Godot game. And it's relatively simple. Basically, this canvas modulate node casts darkness on the entire screen. Then you can add lights to the scene to remove specific parts of the darkness. So I got that set up, encountered several small but manageable problems along the way, and a few hours later, I got here. I was so happy with myself, and I was just about to move on to some sound engineering when... Yeah, remember how I said Godot's lights just remove darkness from an area of a screen? There's not really a z-axis for that. Technically there is, but it's only useful for normal mapping. I panicked a little bit, but it's okay, I thought. There has to be a way to block light, and there is! Light occluders. I slapped one on, and it's exactly what I need. What? No, please, God, why? After about 30 minutes of Googling and another 30 interrogating ChatGPT, I really started to crash out. All my research pointed to the conclusion that what I wanted simply was not possible, and it boils down to the fact that there's no such thing as an area light in Godot's base 2D light system. So even though I provide a texture that represents the area I want light to cover, it's all calculated from a single point. ChatGPT suggested I write my own custom light engine using shaders, and I almost vomited all over my keyboard. It wanted me to essentially use shaders to darken the whole screen, then provide textures to the shader to cut out of the darkness like lights, and also provide textures to occlude light. So the same system Godot has, but custom, so I could calculate the light as an area instead of a point. Problem is, even if I had the time or mental fortitude to do all that, how would I light particles? Godot doesn't let me track their position, so there's no way for me to feed it to the shader light engine. What about all the other lights in my game? This was a full refactor. All hope was lost. So the question is, how did I get here? Lights in the dark, perfectly occluded by shapes that are above them. The answer is,
I faked it.
The key is, it's possible to make specific nodes completely ignore darkness by giving them a canvas layer material and setting it to unshaded. That's already half the battle because it will stay, quote, lit, and nodes that pass in front of it will remain dark. But it kind of looks like doo-doo. So there are a couple other effects happening to sell it. I added my light mask as a sprite underneath each of the elements, lowered the opacity, and matched it to the color of the element I was surrounding to mimic an aura. I'm also modulating the color of the element to be slightly darker so it doesn't stand out so much from the rest of the scene. Like everything in software development, your work is iterative. Sometimes you take a turn down the wrong path and you have to backtrack. Sometimes the road ends and you have to carve your own path. Either way, your trip will be unexpected and you might not get exactly where you wanted to go, but if you keep pushing through, you'll go farther than you ever thought possible. Meeting adjourned, nerds.